What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Manga Madhouse. Today I have a special manga haul for you today. I haven't done one of these in a while, but this is going to be my May manga haul. As you all know, and as I said before, I've had a lot going on and only like spare time to record. So I had like my hauls kind of broken up and I didn't wait till the end of the month to do the haul. But this time I actually have time and I'm recording this on, I had to look at my phone, May 27th. So this will be the May manga haul, and I think we got a lot of interesting stuff. I got some stuff that never been seen before on the channel. I got some stuff that's new. A lot of stuff I've been sitting on for a while, so I really didn't even know what I had until I sat down and kind of logged it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And also, real quick, Discord is open for free. So go ahead and join down in the link below. We talk manga, we talk anime, we talk graphic novels, we talk anything. So just go ahead and join the Discord. It's just a lot of fun. The first thing I'm going to show you today is the art book for Tokyo Ghoul. Now there is an art book for Tokyo Ghoul Re, but I have not gotten Re yet. I'm waiting for the price to come down and then I'll get it, but I had to get this once I saw it. Didn't even know it existed until I was looking for Re and this popped up. I mean, there's some cool artwork in here. I won't show it because I do not want to get in trouble by Viz Media because they will probably shut my channel down. But there's just a lot of good artwork from here. Explanations of like some of the covers for some of the single volumes. And it's just fun. It's just fun stuff. And now I will say real quick, one of the things that I did not understand coming into manga collecting was why would anyone get an art book? Like, what's so special about an art book? Now I see it. Akira box set comes with an art book, and it was cool, but it wasn't like, maybe because I haven't read Akira yet. It was cool. I like some of the art in there. Like, that's never a question. But it was like, why does it matter? This is the first time I've personally went out and purposely bought an art book, and I see why. Now that I've read the series and the little inserts that it gives you about certain characters and certain scenes, it's well worth it. So if you're a collector, and I'll probably do a video talking about that, but if you're a collector and really just collect manga, art books are just the way to go. It's fascinating to see how some of these characters started out and just some of the story behind a lot of your favorite moments in the manga. So yeah, definitely worth the buy. I believe I got that on Amazon. Let's put that there. All right, next, we have something that's been on the channel before, and it's Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. This is like a rom-com almost. I haven't read volume 1 yet, only really because I've been reading Uzumaki, which for the buddy read in the Discord, which is why you need to join the Discord. And I'm trying to finish that up on June 7th, I believe. So that's when we're trying to have the buddy read done for Uzumaki. So once I finish that, which I'm like a little over halfway through, I'll go ahead and start reading this. It seems like it's just a very, I'm not going to say humble story because I don't know, but it just seems like a story that will grab your attention. It's different. And I really like kind of like the art and really the premise. The premise doesn't seem too crazy. It just seems very almost normal to an extent. Even though there are some things, that happen that I know just from reading the back. But yeah, definitely looking forward to getting into this because as you also know, I think I mentioned that I'm really into trying to commit as much time as I can completing my series or completing what I have and trying to catch up with physical volumes as much as I can. And I don't think I'm helping myself by trying to finish out these series that I already have because I already picked up a new series called Heart Gear by Tsuyoshi Takaki. This series, from reading the back, I didn't read the whole thing because I felt like it was giving a little bit too much away. But from what I did read and just from what I've seen in other videos, it's about this girl who lives a humble life with her family, but then her uncle's a robot. And this is taken 2 years after World War III. And so yeah, it's just kind of following their journey, trying to restore peace within the family. Sounds interesting to me. Sounds a little different with the female protagonist and then having like a android sidekick. Sounds interesting. I don't know really much about it outside of that, so it could be more, could be less than the way I explained it, but it does sound interesting nonetheless. Next, we have Tokyo These Days by Taiyo Matsumoto. And this is the first time I think I've ever gotten his work. But this is about a comic, I think it's a comic book editor technically. and they're one day just quit their job. But eventually a junior editor comes up to them and lets them know at a bookshop, like, hey, there's this manga guy, this manga creator rather, and they will not work with any other editor outside of you. So it's just kind of following that story. I don't really know anything much more about it, but I mean, this hardcover is really nice, and I just like how it looks. I should have just waited, because I think I got this and then like 2 days later the second volume came out, so I probably should have just went ahead and got it so I can like read them both, because it doesn't seem like a difficult read at all. But I am looking forward to it because I think it's a series that's a little different from what I typically read, which is good. I'm trying to diversify my collection. And speaking of diversifying my collection, I also have the Vonage Hotel. So this is a series from Seven Seas. I think it's only 3 volumes, but I got only the first volume just to check it out. I like the artwork in here. It's a little different than you typically would kind of look for, especially in like a horror series, even though I do believe from everything I've seen it's like a horror comedy, but still I do like the artwork. But this story is about Taizu, who decides to take a break and go to a hotel as just part of a vacation, and little did he know that hotel of drug dealers, contract killers, witches, and all kinds of things. So it's just kind of telling that story. And if I did not mention, this manga is by Domon Simon, I might have pronounced that wrong, but Domon Simon, I believe is his name. And yeah, looks like a very interesting story. Once I saw that it was said that this is one of like the better horror manga series, even though it's only 3 volumes, and just seeing the art with that being said, I was very interested. Now, the comments could be wrong. Of course, you know, most of the time people are either going to leave comments because they really love something, really hate it. So it's going to be really hard to tell, but it does seem interesting to, like I said, you're matching the genre with this kind of artwork and kind of the premise of the story. Sounds like it's something I would enjoy. Next, I would like to add that there is maybe not a disclaimer, but I should warn you that like a couple of volume or a couple of manga that I have in this haul has to do with suicide. So that is something that is sentimental to you or sensitive to you rather, then just be aware. And this is one of those series. So please feel free to skip ahead. But that next series is A School Frozen in Time, volumes 1 through 4. And as I've mentioned before, that this is a series that I've always wanted to read. This was one of the first series that when I started collecting manga, that it was a story that I was like, it looks interesting. It looks very interesting, but everything else got in the way at this point when I very first saw it. Like, mind you, I think I had like Mob Psycho, Naruto, and something else. Like, I didn't have much, so there was a lot to get. And of course, this fell by the wayside. But when I got it recently and just kind of looked more into it, I was like, how could I push this off? This sounds like such an interesting story. And if you're not familiar with the story, basically it's about these kids. They go to school, they realize the school is empty, and as they realize the school is empty, they realize everything has stopped, especially the clocks. The clock itself is stopped at a particular time of an event that happened 3 months prior. So they're trying to just kind of figure out everything and recount their relationships and recount their memories of what happened and maybe solve what is going on. It just seems like a very interesting series. 4 volumes. If you can wrap up a story that seems like it could be that in depth in 4 volumes, I think that's a good thing. But we'll see. It could be bad. It could be cut short. My thing about it, or what I would be considering is, you know, while there's not much to tell as far as like a story from beginning to end, I do wonder maybe what is it like? Does it go really into detail, like the thoughts of the characters, and is there really any character development? There's only 4 volumes, so just very interested to see kind of what plays out. Because like I said, only 4 volumes doesn't give you a lot of leg room, but a lot can be done in 4 volumes. Especially like I think volume 4 specifically is like extra, like super thick compared to like volume 1. Even though actually they're both pretty thick, but volume 4 just feels a lot heftier than the other volumes. And I don't think I mentioned that the story is by Mizuki Tsuji Mura. I could be pronouncing that wrong. Actually, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then the art is by Naoshi Arakawa. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And that might be read soon because it is only 4 volumes. Next, we have something else that I talked about possibly getting at some point, and really just everything else got in the way. This also was a series that was on my video where I talked about kind of like ranking my my collection so far and wondering, okay, what have I gotten? What have I accumulated over this amount of time? And that is Monster. Yeah, without further ado, I think you know what Monster is about. It's really hard to really tell you, at least from someone who hasn't read the series, it's hard to tell you what this is about without knowing too much. So I really try not to read the back because I felt like the back was kind of just leading to a lot. Now, it could be one of those things like it just blatantly tells you what happens, but then there's like layers to it, and I'll be fine with that, but I still don't want to know anything. So what I can tell you, what I feel like is just worth knowing without kind of giving away the story, is that Monster is about this doctor, and at some point he made a decision, and it could be that his decision, obviously a doctor's job is to save people, but it could be that his decision actually caused more harm than good to numerous people. And then it's just him kind of living with that decision and trying to fix it, of course, because he's a doctor and he wants to save people. Another series I want to pick up, and I don't remember, I feel like I've mentioned this series, but I don't know what video and I don't know why, but it is something that I picked up because I've heard great things about it, and I believe the anime has picked back up, and that is Blue Exorcist by Kazu Kato. And this series about Ren, I believe his name is, Ren, and essentially he is Satan's son, and he has to harness his powers to defeat Satan. So, like I said, they're bringing the anime back. I don't know anything about the series, but I've heard that, like, when people bring up the hype of Chainsaw Man, there's like another party that says Chainsaw Man is good. It's just not all it's hyped up to be. If you want a series that's, I wouldn't say that I've seen people say it's the same, but just like it's a series that's not getting as much hype as Chainsaw Man, but is just as good, if not better. Blue Exorcist has been what's been said, so had to get the first volume of that. The next two volumes I got are from a story that I'm also not familiar with. Actually, a whole world I'm not familiar with, but I got it. I don't think this is a good starting point, but it is what it is. And that is The Mandalorian, the manga. I haven't seen the show. I have seen a couple of the Star Wars series that they've done, but I have not actually watched the Star Wars movies cohesively. Like, I've watched them, but I've never, not even all of them, but I've never like pieced the whole world together. So this is just all new to me, and I believe I bought this just because my plan was to actually watch Star Wars on May 4th or around May 4th, and never got to it. But The Mandalorian is adapted by Yusuke Asawa, and yeah, it just seems like it's just the manga version of the TV show. Haven't seen the TV show, so I feel like the manga version will be a cool step in the right direction. Of course, I probably will go back and like TV show if I end up liking the series. But there's only 2 volumes out. The second volume literally just came out, so it's not like I'm just super behind. So I should be able to get a good grip on where we are. Next, we have, this is actually one, I think this is a channel first, which may be sad, but this is the first time I've read a series. Like, I'm showing you a series, but I've already read it. Well, showing you a volume of manga and I already read it. And well, in this case, manga. And that is volume 6 of The Boxer. I just mentioned in my last video how much I love The Boxer, and I think it really feels like a movie. It feels like a cinematic masterpiece. Can't wait to read more. It's getting into the territory where I may just want to go ahead and go online and finish it because it is such an exhilarating story. But I think I will try to be as patient as I can because there's a lot over here I need to finish. So I will get to that at some point. But yeah, The Boxer, I can't say enough good things about it. The artwork's incredible. I know that some people are thrown off by it, and sometimes the artwork comes off as gimmicky. It doesn't, in certain scenes, it doesn't feel like it fits necessarily what's going on or the vibe of the story. But there are other times where it's just beautiful and you're just looking at panel after panel, no words, and just really drawn into the scenario of what's going on in the manga. So I can see both sides, but for me, it works. I will admit, though, there's some times where it's kind of, I wouldn't even say it's goofy, but like just the placement of certain artwork just makes it come off as a little goofy. And yeah, it can kind of, it doesn't take you out the story, but it makes you wonder like the choice behind it. Still amazing series. Probably one of my favorite series of all time so far. Next, we have something that's a little different. And don't know if this is more a manhwa or not a manhwa, but I don't know if this is more of a graphic novel or a manga or whatever. But either way, it is Afro Samurai, 2 volumes. It says the graphic novel collection, right? But then it's like set up like a manga, like you read it like a manga. It's not because a graphic novel you read just like you would a book, as far as like from left to right. This is set up from right to left. So I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, there's not enough to say about Afro Samurai. I've seen the show, the anime rather. I really enjoyed it. This was one of those series where I saw around and just never really like, oh, I gotta get it. But now I got it, and it's still in the plastic. And I've run into these things where I run it when I get series that are in plastic. Do I go ahead and do I do a separate video of me opening it, or do I just open it off camera? I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below, because I would like to know, like, do you want to see more like collection based content on the channel? Because I do a lot of stuff on here, but would you like to see just every time I get something like this where it's in the plastic, we open it up and look at it and talk about it? Because I am collecting, and collecting is like a hobby in its own outside of reading manga. So yeah, I just wonder, but it doesn't matter to me either way. This next story is something I've literally never heard of until Manga Sloth brought it up. And I just really respect his opinion. I really can't. There's nothing I can say to make it seem like this was a justifiable purchase. It's simply just, I really appreciate his opinion. I value his opinion. And he talked a lot about this manga in one of his recent videos and said how good it was. And that is The Heart of Thomas by Moto Hagio. And this series is a series about a boy who went to an all-boys school in Germany, and eventually and this is, once again, if you're sensitive to suicide, I suggest you skip ahead, but he commits suicide. And it's just the story, from everything I know, is about just how that impacts the community, and just goes into that kind of section of just the mental aspect of it. And that just sounds incredible to me. Like, it sounds very interesting. I like it sounds weird, but like, I like my media darker, if that makes any sense. And by media, I just mean movies, books, anything. And the reason that is because sometimes they're not afraid to go to places that people don't want to talk about. And I think that's important, and we do talk about certain things. I'm not gonna say I dislike, but I don't compare that to media where, like Saw. Like, I know this is not a manga, but like Saw, where it's gory just to be gory, and sometimes you kind of see about morals and stuff. But most of the time, it's just gory to be gory. It's that also goes into a place that people don't want to talk about, but that's not really my interest. I'll watch it, I enjoy it, it's cool, but it's not like psychological and like deep thought as like something I would assume The Heart of Thomas is. So really, really looking forward to reading it. When Manga Sauce said he was willing to pay someone like $200 for it before it became, because this is reprinted. They brought these back. When he said he was willing to pay $200 for it after he said what he said about the series, I was like, oh, that sounds really good. So let me go ahead and check it out. If someone's willing to pay $200 for it, then it must be good. Next, I have, if I can grab it. All right, and next I have Vinland Saga, the deluxe edition, book 2. I mean, what is there to say? These deluxe editions are some of my favorites. Really need to crack down and start reading this. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, is the cover a little different? I don't have time to go. I'm not going to go back and look. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be. But yeah, I think I keep seeing that like some of like volume 3 will be black. That kind of, to me, I want to see what the whole thing looks like, because the first 2 were red, and then the volume 3 is black. It's kind of like, just like, what are we doing here? Because I know, like, if I'm thinking about Parasite, the full color editions, they're different colors, but it's almost like in an order. It goes from like red to like purple almost. Going to red to black, and then I don't know what color they'll go to after that. It just makes you want a kind of direction. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think the color's going to bother me too much. As long as the quality maintains, which I'm pretty sure it will, I'll be more than happy about that. But there's nothing left to say about Vinland Saga. Amazing, amazing series. Now, we got a couple of box sets. And when I say a couple of box sets, it's not your traditional box set. As in, this first one is Orange by Ichigo Takano. This is from Seven Seas, and once again, I think this is the last one, I promise. But if you are sensitive to the subject matter of suicide, and I suggest you go ahead and skip ahead, even though I'm not going to talk. It's not like I'm going in depth. It's just I'm mentioning it. Yeah, seven volumes. Seems like a story that's quickly, easy to read as far as just like, it's not a huge commitment. But basically, if you're not familiar with this story is about a girl. I think her name's Naho, and she receives a letter from herself 10 years in the future, and it basically tells her to pay close attention to this new transfer student who on the first day of school loses his mother from suicide. So yeah, it's a crazy story. It's not what, I'm not even gonna lie, it's not what I originally thought this series was about. I didn't know that that's what this was about until I got it. I thought it was more like a love story, and I don't know where I heard that from, and maybe it still is, but overall, and I can see, now that I'm thinking about it, I can see where it can be a love story, but what it's about, what the premise says, I didn't think that was in it at all. So that's crazy, but either way, good series. I'm probably going to do a video where I unbox this separately, just because, why not? I think I want to add, like I was mentioning earlier, more like collection based content. The difference is this is an actual box set compared to Afro Samurai, which is just 2 volumes. And lastly, well, the last manga we're going to talk about in this video is Wotakoi. And this series is about, and this is the box set, by the way. And this series is about just how opposites attract, and just kind of going through that in like an office-based setting. I heard that this is like not your typical manga rom-com, as in it's not like 2 teenagers. It's more adult friendly, and not adult, at least to my knowledge, not adult friendly in that way, but more adult friendly as in you're going to read it and be like, I'm not reading about a bunch of kids. It's going to be a little more, around my age. So looking forward to reading it. I think that, digesting content like that, I think is good. I'm not personally one for rom-coms. I think I've mentioned that plenty of times on this channel, but it can be done in a way that's expansive, in a way that actually kind of gets your brain going, and not like in a dumb way. And I think that's kind of what I meant by that, because there's times where you watch rom-com movies and it's like, this is stupid. But there's some times where it's really thought-provoking, and you're really understanding like how people feel and how to talk to people and how to, work certain relationships. And that is where I'll draw the line in a good way and say that that's more my speed, and not just dumb love for the sake of dumb love. So I don't know if that's necessarily where this goes, but just from everything I've seen, everything I've understood, it seems as though that it's a little more thought-provoking than your typical rom-com. I'll take it. And then lastly, I have something that's not manga, so I really am hesitant to show it, but I'm going to show it just because. And let me know if this is not the place to do it. As I trying to grab everything, sorry. But yeah, let me know if this is not the place to do it. Let me know if I should make separate videos, or let me know if I should never do it again. I don't know, but just all I'm saying is let me know. These are graphic novels. So the first one I have is Killing and Dying, which is like just an assortment of stories by Adrian Tomini, I believe. And I think it's like 6 different stories, but these are all stories that to me are just, I don't know, they're not your typical like jokey stories. They're more pretty on the serious side, even though there may be some like panels you see that are kind of funny, or even the artwork in it may remind you of like something like BoJack Horseman or something, or whatever, adult cartoons are out these days. But I think it attacks some serious matters, even though it's different stories. And then I've heard that BoJack Horseman does it the same way, so maybe it is like BoJack Horseman. Either way, the point is, definitely something I was looking forward to checking out, because I've been just watching more people on YouTube talk about graphic novels, and it just caught my attention. So, had to get it. Next, we have Bloodborne, and it comes with 3 volumes, 3 different volumes: A Song of Crows, The Healing Thirst, and The Death of Sleep. I don't know if I read those in order, but The Death of Sleep is first. The Healing Thirst is second, and A Song of Crows is third. Cool. It says it on the back. But Bloodborne, I'm a huge fan of the Soul games, Elden Ring. I was about to say Skyrim, but it's not Skyrim. I can't think of it now. In fact, I hated that game because I got poisoned in like a tunnel and couldn't get out. Dark Souls is the game I was thinking of. So yeah, all those Souls games are real cool to me. I really like those worlds. So yeah, once I saw this, I had to get it. I don't even know if it's good, but I had to get it just based on I wouldn't say is that my childhood? I guess I'm older now, so maybe it is my childhood when I was playing those Souls games. And next we have The Last Ronin. Real quick, it's about the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which I think some stuff happened to the others, so maybe I might be, getting ahead of myself. But either way, had to get it. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The artwork looks incredible in here. I would show you, but once again, I definitely don't know how people who write graphic novels feel about showing artwork. And I know how some manga publishers feel, so I just won't touch it. But yeah, definitely cool series or cool book, I guess. I'll read it at some point. And then lastly, this was recommended by someone in the Discord, so I had to get it because, I love getting recommendations. And I've seen the movie, but I've never had the box set ever, or never even had a book, or never really even cared too much about the story as a whole. But I did see the movie. It was one of the movies that like my dad liked, and I would just watch it with him. And I have no idea how close this series is to the movie. But either way, Hellboy. This is the complete omnibus box set of Hellboy. So it comes with 4 volumes, and I think they're all hardcover. And believe it or not, this is by Dark Horse. So I think that's kind of cool to see that kind of come together. But either way, I just wanted to show you that. Like I said, let me know if you want to see more of that, because I will be collecting more. I just maybe not show it on the channel, or maybe, I don't know. If you want to see more, I'll show more. I should show it in a different place, because I do have I'm starting to maybe slowly start social media accounts, just because maybe I'll show it there instead. Maybe do a little series on there. We'll see. And I'll put those links to all the social media accounts down in the description below, along with the Discord. But once again, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this manga haul. I know I'm really self-conscious about some of the names I said, because I probably said it incorrectly, even though I tried my best. Let me know, fix any correction. I love to be corrected, so that I can do better next time. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.